Hey team, welcome to Animation. My name is Blake and this is Merv.
Hello.
And on today's episode, we are keeping up with the Joneses. We are talking about a movie that is still in the movie theater right now. And depending on how long it takes me to edit, may still be in the movie theater when this episode comes out, which is pretty exciting.
This is Anime.
Shoshan.
Are you ready?
As always, we start off with our rating, and we are going to do John Ken Pon for said rating.
Will you recommend this to us? First comes Rock. John Ken Pon.
Yep. First comes Rock. John Ken Pon.
Okay, I gave it a
nice.
2.
I give it a 1. So
I'm going to be honest, I was waffling between 1 and 2.
So we've got our ratings out. I give it a 1. Merv, you give it a 2.
A 2.
So let's get into the diss track.
I see you have made your decision. Now let's see you enforce it.
If I give this movie one thing, it's caused me to create the longest diss track list of anything we've discussed. So that's a win, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's close. It's up there. Redo of Healer probably.
Yeah.
It's number 1.
I love that redo of Healer. Did you see someone commented? They're like, this looks great. I'm going to go watch this show right away. So I would never recommend it because I don't agree with the importance it places on being popular, how it glorifies doxing people, even though they call it being unveiled. The whole movie to me is like, being popular is more important than anything, except for the last 10 minutes of the movie where they try to somehow erase the other 90% where it glorifies popularity, and popularity is everything.
Right.
And the whole doxing people thing. So we make content. That is what we are doing right now. And content,
more or less.
Yeah. And content is a popularity contest in a way. That really rubbed me the wrong way.
This is similar to that. And one of my disses, and this is what I think killed the whole movie for me. And the only reason I gave it a 2 is because it's a pretty presentation. But if you're looking for a well-crafted story, I don't think this is the one. And the thing that attaches to what you just said is there are 0 stakes for me in this movie.
Yeah.
Like literal 0 stakes. And I was fighting sleep early on in this movie because I just didn't care. And it's about the doxing. Is like, if I have a World of Warcraft character and they're like, and he's super great and everyone likes him, and then they go, hey, it's Merv, that guy from Michigan. Oh.
Yay.
What? Who cares? No one cares. There's just nothing there. Like,
right.
That guy from Michigan, who's Merv? No one knows. Doesn't he have that podcast a couple people listen to? Like, no one would care. So the doxing had no relevance, no stakes, and they made it the highest, like, this is the worst possible thing that can happen is you will be revealed.
Yeah.
And it even came to fruition when they revealed, like, the little boy at the end. They're like, it's this kid that lives near Tokyo. Okay. No one who cares? No one knows this guy. Like, it's not like, because exactly what you said in the about is she gets doxed. Her big choice at the end is to reveal herself, and everyone's like, whoa, okay. And then they go back to the food court and eat some fries. Like, there's nothing that happens. It doesn't matter. So literally this movie is extremely boring because there are no stakes.
The stakes thing, I agree with wholeheartedly. And our hero Suzu jumps at the chance to do like the big bad thing in the movie. Like, unveiling and doxing is the big bad thing. So the first time she comes across the dragon, she's like, we gotta dox that guy right away. So it takes away a lot of her heroism when she's willing to do like the bad thing, and she's so caught up in the cancel culture of it.
Right.
that she's willing to do that too.
When her and the big bad have the same goal, it's hard to be a hero. Yeah.
Yeah. And to your other point about the boring is right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm probably going to have a few hot takes on here that maybe some people won't love. But to me, this is a movie that more is for the folks who are of the female persuasion. It's more of a girl movie, I think, than a boy movie, is the point.
Don't they have completely different words for that in anime?
They do. And it's a shoujo, I think.
We are looking at how to pronounce shoujo manga, shoujo anime, or shoujo manga.
I think it's a shoujo, I think is what this one would be considered. If I'm wrong, I will cut that part. But I had Jessica watch it with me because I'm like, all right, I want, her perspective on this and, maybe she'll love it or something. And she fell asleep like a few minutes in, just done. And it got to the end and she woke up and she was like, oh, that was a good movie. I'm like, what are you talking about? That was a terrible movie. She's like, oh, I slept through the whole thing.
It is very difficult to have a character with no stakes. There's no conflict really in her life. Oh, it's so terrible that you're popular and the people who love you might find out who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. There might be one like nutso stalker in there, but you got millions of people who love you.
Yeah, they're going to love you more now because you're just like them, right? Oh, wow, she's normal, just like me. Look, she's got freckles in real life. I think they even say that in the movie. Look, she's got freckles for real. Oh, I love her so much. So I'm over kind of the awkward character, gets handed everything with zero struggles, like you said, zero stakes. And I don't know. I couldn't with that one.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I didn't like is that, and this broke a lot of immersion for me, is immediately she gets super famous and her computer friend is like, we're going to set up a donation and we're going to donate all the money that we make to charity. And I'm like, that would never happen ever in any world.
I think not.
Yeah, that was a little...
Read my lips. No.
No one would do that. And even if one person is as altruistic as that, you will never find two people that altruistic.
Right.
Here's something else. There is a mystery plot here. We don't know who the beast is. So in many different whodunits or other sorts of mystery plots, like Scooby-Doo even, there's one thing that you always must do to keep the audience interested, and that is show the solution early on. And what I mean by that is not reveal the solution, but if it's Old Man Jenkins, the groundskeeper who discovered oil when he was hoeing under the amusement park, so he dressed up like a ghost, we see Old Man Jenkins at some point early on.
And then kids, no good.
Okay, I see where you're going. Yeah, that's good.
And so in this movie, there's one scene where she's at the Beast Castle and he starts clenching down and he says, like, I got to get through this. I immediately knew it was abusive father. This is what makes him so strong, is that his dad beats on him. And so I'm like, who is it? And I thought, you know who it is? It's her crush.
Yep.
And the reason he's always trying to protect her is because he can't protect himself. That's a cool reveal. And then they're like, it's Bill from Minnesota.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, who? It's like, oh no, this kid whose dad yells at him across the city. And I don't know who that is. So you have a mystery with no solution, and it's just very unsatisfying.
Yeah, because the creators and writers thought they were so smart, and they're like, I got you, because they had the crush. He's the popular kid in school. They were childhood friends. He even asked her at one point, are you Belle? Or he just says it, you're Belle. And you're like, oh my goodness, he's the dragon. We know it. So they bring you along this path for you to expect that it's him. And then they're like, haha, got you. It's new character. Which is not the way to do a twist.
No,
so I think that's a really good.
It's not smart to pull the rug out.
So your your avatar that you get in the Oasis is based on your, and this is a quote, biometric data. So Suzu gets the modern day equivalent of Jessica Rabbit from Roger Rabbit.
Mhm.
You know, very attractive avatar.
Oh.
And if you look, some other people get literally like tadpoles with eyeballs and arms.
Yay.
So I don't understand the rules of this world.
I feel like I would just be the poop emoji.
Yeah. So I didn't like that either. What else you got?
The music was really bad to me. And here's why. And it's probably good to some people, notably people younger than me, which is a lot of people. We like things as human beings. We like things that look like human beings.
Yeah.
And as we get closer and closer to looking like a human and acting like a human, we like something more and more. And then it gets just close enough that it dips way down and we hate it and are afraid of it. And then it dips up to a human. So there is a V there. That is the valley, the uncanny valley. Well, the other thing that hits the uncanny valley for me is auto-tuned voices. They creep me out. They make the hair on the back of my neck stand up. They make my balls tingle. Can I say balls tingle? And especially in a movie like this, where you're saying, oh, this is the greatest singer. It's her voice that everyone loves. And then you auto-tune it. It makes no sense, because is she auto-tuning it through her own computer? And then if she's just auto-tuning it, okay, who cares? Everyone can auto-tune their own voice. A movie specifically about a great singer should just, it should be au naturel if we're going to believe that her voice is leading to immediately 1 billion followers.
Right. Here was I agree. Here was my take on the music. So the first song, when the movie starts and it's got kind of that up-tempo beat and she's singing and stuff, I liked that one. I thought that was a cool song. I enjoyed it.
Creeped me out.
Not the actual song.
I liked that one. The rest of them, to me, one, her voice didn't even really come through. It felt like her voice was very much background. It was like this.
You should spin around in your chair and do it. That was still coming through. Yeah, that was better. Better.
Okay.
We really got it
Good.
that time.
Better representation. Yeah.
Have you joined us yet? If not, then I'm sorry. I won't be sharing my dinner with you.
So I have a hot take.
Okay.
That this movie is very much for the TikTok generation.
Not only does it pander to a market of middle schoolers who think, oh yeah, Blake, what a douchey name. I hate Blakes.
The scenes in the movie felt like a highlight reel to me. Like it was just like the highlight of what the scene we should have gotten was. And then the highlight of the next, and then the highlight, and then the highlight. And to me, it was very much made for the 1 minute video TikTok generation, because it was just hammering through the story. And I'm worried about this.
Like a montage.
Yeah, exactly. Like the whole movie was a montage, just like a highlight, a highlight, a highlight, and it progresses you through the story, just giving you the highlights.
Those scenes feel flat because there's no charge change. It starts, this scene is going to be sad. So we come in and she's already crying. Some people come in and they cry with her. This next scene is the beast is angry, so he's going to be angry and he punches some things. If we come in sad and then we stay sad and then we leave, that scene is very flat and it feels like a clip from a scene because there's no resolution. Also, scenes need to have something that they're trying to accomplish. And again, as we've pointed out with the stakes, there's very little that these characters are trying to accomplish. They're often just, here's something happening. And so a scene needs a scene question. Can Suzu get away from the justice? That can be a scene question. And the first 45, 50 minutes of this movie had none of that stuff, had no charges in the scenes, had no scene goals. It was just things happening most of the time. And then at the end, we got all of it in an avalanche, and it was too little too late.
I just hope this isn't like a trend where they're like, well, kids are dumb and they don't have enough attention span because they watch too many of them TikToks. So we're going to make our movies
Right.
just. God, that would just not be good. But if there's any entertainment medium that can not fall into those traps, I would say it's anime. Anime is very resilient. And even if the writers of Belle go down this road, there'll be plenty of anime that do not. So I'm confident from that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about stakes a lot.
Mm-hmm.
She asked the beast, dragon, about the bruises he has on his cape.
Really? On his cape. Mm-hmm.
She asked if the bruises on his cape in the virtual world hurt.
What the fuck?
So not only is there very little stakes or very little real danger or anything, the one part where there's like some sort of violence or stakes or whatever is rainbow bruises on the beast's cape. Those aren't bruises.
Yeah, they look like the map of a swamp, not bruises.
Yeah, it was bad, man. Just bad.
Yeah, it didn't make sense to not have him like rip off his shirt and then he has bruises underneath.
Yeah.
Or something along those lines.
It was more important that the cape looks cool and that the bruises are cool and colorful and artsy than to have any emotional resonance with the audience regarding said bruises.
Yeah.
What else you got?
And the Oasis and I don't know what the game is. People are plugging in and there's justices. I don't know if they're players. And the beast is talking about like, oh, he's beating up everybody. Is he supposed to be beating up people? Are there tournaments? I have no idea why people are plugging in and what they are actually doing in this game. And so the world like collapses for me because I didn't know why these millions of people are plugging in. What, to see Belle in concert? Like,
you're absolutely right. I have no idea what the point of that place was that Two, it is the VR world that exists in the real world right now. And it's called VR chat. And it literally exists where VR chat is a VR world where you go in and you pick an avatar. And the point of it is nothing.
Did someone say brain damage? Guess what? I have plenty of that. I never thought I would see a Pokemon in real life.
I am insulted, sir.
Are you not a Pokemon?
Like you just go in there and hang out and maybe someone's got a world with a cafe and you sit there with people and talk to them in VR. So not only are you right and it makes this terrible because you have no idea about the world, but two, it also exists.
People actually do it. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, there was a game called Second Life, right? That was that too for a while.
Yeah,
it was like an MMORPG.
it's very much like that.
Yeah.
Yep. Very much like that.
Yeah, we're doomed.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good at all. We're going to save this entertainment world one animation episode at a time. See if we can't fix this. So what that means is everyone's doomed. The dragon plays the "Don't look at me" game way too long in this movie film.
It's cringy.
In the real Beauty and the Beast, it's once or twice. He does the "Don't look at me" thing like once or twice. And then there's a montage where we get through it. And the montage helps us see that the Beast and Belle build a relationship. There's not that montage in this. It's just "Don't look at me" for 20 minutes and then the end part of the movie film. So I did that, even though that was very much in the middle of the movie film, a copy of Beauty and the Beast. When they Beauty and the Beast did real hard, it was not so good. I did like the design, and I'll get to that, but other than that.
And when you say the real Beauty and the Beast, you mean Disney's version.
The cartoon, yes. Not the live action, not the Yeah, the Disney cartoon that came out in the 90s. That one.
So for Suzu, it was awful being Suzu. And I guess it was good being Belle. She must have done it for a reason, but we didn't really see any emotional reactions as to why she was being Belle. But we can assume it was good to be Belle. And then at the end, it was still good to be Belle, and it was fine to be Suzu, like up a notch. So you had these two identities, and they flatlined basically, like everything in this movie. It mostly flatlined. So this one was always good. This one was always bad. The end.
Yeah, that's good. I think that's a dunk on this movie for sure. That's a good one. That is my list of disses for Belle. Do you have anything else on your list?
I kind of do. The ending was not good.
No.
The going and like the young girl standing up to a 40-year-old man and him just like backing down.
Oh my, and it was so over the top too. I mean, it was
right.
Like he was like
yeah, he was like, yeah, cowering from her.
Look, that girl is staring at me. I am 40 and scared. I must run away.
Because she looked at him. And so that ending, I didn't understand how that resolved Belle's internal struggle of her mom abandoning her.
Reasons. Don't worry, you don't need to know.
Yeah, I mean, no, didn't you listen to the song? Wasn't that song great? Yeah, it felt discombobulated in a lot of ways. And I think that's because I felt more like they were trying to appeal to a Western audience instead of just making a good anime.
And they think we're morons, if that's the case.
I mean, that's fair,
Yeah.
but
I mean, yeah, we are, but
have you seen Marvel Phase 4?
right. The one scene with the older brother and the younger brother, and the older brother comes in and he's holding the younger brother and he's like, it's not your fault, it's me, it's my fault, it's not. That whole scene with the dad, by far the best scene to me in the entire movie. And I felt a little bit there. So it's like, if you can do that, why does the rest of this movie suck so bad?
Well, let's dissect that scene too. Do you remember how that scene starts? He's singing the song, the Belle song, and that's how they find him. They're like, how is this person singing the Belle song? Which didn't make a ton of sense to me, because doesn't everyone know the Belle song? Like 1 million people went to her concert, but he's singing this particular song that maybe they haven't released yet or something, but they hear him and they go there, and it's a young kid and it's cutesy. It's happy. He's happy. He's singing the song. We have an emotional charge. Father comes in.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Breaks that charge immediately.
Yeah.
Then we get this kind of scared charge where the kid is scared, and we move to a very similar emotion and anger, but he gets angry, then the boy comes in, and then we're angry at the father. And so there's these emotional shifts and charges, and that's why that scene is successful as compared to the other scenes that are not successful. And so there's a relativity there that affects you.
Yeah, well done. Well done. That's good. So yeah, other than that, I liked that scene. I did like how it looks. I especially liked the dragon's design, or the beast's design, whichever name you want to use. And it was, I believe, an adaptation from M. Night Shyamalan's
The Village.
The Village.
I thought that too. I thought the same thing, that it was very, I got the Village vibes, that it was very similar.
Yeah, so I dug that. I dug that design too. I mean, it didn't have the spikes sticking out, right? But if you had the spikes, then you couldn't see the painterly bruises, so they had to take that part off. But other than that, yeah, it's very close to the shape of the body and all that.
I have the same thing. The character designs, I like that there are different avatars and that they look different, and that's interesting to me. This is cheating, but because it's Beauty and the Beast, I like that the good guy is ugly and the bad guy is very attractive. Like Justin is super attractive, Justin of the Justices. And you get that with Gaston. There's a whole song about it.
Yep.
No one does anything like Gaston. So I also like those. I always feel the character designs, I don't think we've watched an anime where I'm like, oh, the character designs were, crummy. they take art very seriously, and it shows most of the time.
Some of the Visions ones were not great.
Yeah, that's
to
true.
Remember back. Yeah. But other than that, yeah, absolutely. The art is done very well. My last because my list is not very long. The joke that did fall for me is I'm rooting for you. Does that mean you have a small crush on me? That running joke. I did laugh about that. I thought that was pretty funny. The canoe guy was pretty good. And they'd be like, a girl would be like, I'm rooting for you. And he'd say, you're rooting for me. Does that mean you have a small crush on me? And then finally at the end, like the girl that everyone at school sweats. I don't remember her name, but the girl that everyone sweats is like, I'm rooting for you. And he's like, does that mean you have a small crush on me? And she's actually like, yeah, I do. And so it works. Like his pickup line works. And they had this really awkward scene and I laughed. Yep. So I did dig that. That was probably my favorite thing about the movie was that little
character
bit. Yeah, that was the one part I was entertained.
This movie was so dour for like supposed to be like an uplifting, colorful movie. It was very dour, and that guy was like a little bright spot throughout.
Yeah.
So my last is the theme, and it's not their answers to the theme, but I like exploring the theme. Should you be scared to be yourself? And that's what they're asking here. Is it okay to be scared to be yourself and to pretend to be somebody else? They answer it wholeheartedly. Yes.
Just be somebody else. Don't be yourself.
You should be ashamed of being yourself.
And then once you get millions of followers,
you can be yourself because everyone will love you anyway. Yeah, it's the worst messaging.
Yeah, because everyone's in love with you. I think identity is always a strong theme to explore. And 1,000 movies do it. Almost every movie has some form of identity in it. So I like the theme they chose. I just didn't like their kind of execution of it. But that's all I got for my likes.
Based on what we've been watching, what I would say about Belle is instead of watching Belle, watch Your Name.
Yeah.
And if you've seen Your Name already and you haven't seen Belle, go watch Your Name again, because it'll be a better use of your time to me than watching this one. I can't with it. I would dare say this is my least favorite thing that we've watched.
I still go with Redo of Healer, but this is close. I mean, at least I guess at least Redo of Healer was interesting. This was much more boring, and the thing is hating something, if you hate something, that's better than thinking it's boring. I suppose in that regard I had more of a reaction to Redo of Healer than I did to Belle, which I'm very indifferent to. It's just so boring.
Yeah, go watch Redo of Healer instead of this, because they're very similar in a lot of ways.
I wouldn't do that.
They're very similar storylines.
No.
Very similar maturity levels.
I wouldn't do it.
I would say if you like Belle,
probably not.
Go watch Redo of Healer. Might as well be a sequel. I would love it if like some 12-year-old listened to this and then was like, "Oh, they said if I liked Belle to go watch Redo of Healer."
The views expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect the views of this podcast.
Right. Yep. There's a lot of like takes that if anyone actually liked Belle, they're not gonna like
for sure
us after this. But I figured and that's fine.
I don't know how the response to this has been. Like, is it beloved? I don't know.
I think it's been positive. I was listening to one of our peers and I didn't catch a lot of it, but I think they were saying it was good and that they really enjoyed it and that blah 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 blah. So I don't know, man.
Sometimes I feel like our peers are afraid to say they don't like stuff.
Yep. I would agree with that. But let me see real quick. Rotten Tomatoes has 95% from 86 critics and 500 plus verified audience score of 95%. So yeah, I would say the consensus is that Belle is the best and everyone loves it.
Yay.
Well, good. In the comments below, please argue the side of liking this movie, or join us on Discord and argue the side of liking. Because I'm not saying that flippantly. I really want to know like what people are getting out of this, like what you're getting out of it.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say about Belle in the Beast?
No.
Nope.
All right. Bye, everybody. Thanks so much for watching or listening. Our LinkTree will be in the description. Tell your friends. Tell your friends.
That's a good idea.
If we could get 4 or 5 more people,
go on to whatever social media VR world you live in and spread the word. If you made it this far.
Yeah. If there is anyone listening to our voices right now still,
we really appreciate it. And that's for real. That's not just saying that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because what I will say is been listening to a lot of our peers lately, and
well,
anyway, just share. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Obviously.
Bye, everybody. We'll talk to you next time.
Have a good one.
First comes rock. John Ken Pon.
Anime.
Shoshin.